I feel like this is gonna take me ages to film, so we're gonna get an early start. Hello everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys all of the books on my physical TBR. Basically it just means all of the books that I own and have not read. There are quite a few, not as much as other people. Like I just watched, who was that? Becca and the Books, I think. She put hers up last week and she has like over 500 books that she hasn't read. Mine's nowhere near that. Mine, I'm assuming, is about 50 if I had to guess, which is a respectable number. I like keeping it around there. So we're gonna go through all of them. So we are going to start off with the books that I got for Christmas. I didn't get a ton of books, but I got some. And since they're already not on my shelves, because I haven't put them up yet, we're just gonna go with those first. So I have the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Complete Collection. So it's just a box set. It's the 42nd anniversary edition. And so it just has paperbacks of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe, and Everything, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and Mostly Harmless. I'm so excited to read these. I love the movie for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I know that Douglas Adams has a very unique writing style, and I'm just excited. I cannot wait to read these. And the other book that I got for Christmas was Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson, and it's got these light blue sprayed edges, and it is signed, and I have been wanting to read this author for so long, and now I finally have a chance to do so. So I'm excited to get into that too. I only have a few books from my favorite authors' shelves, which are these first four shelves behind me, and the first of those is The Battle of Hackham Heath by John Flanagan. This is the second book in the Early Years series, which is a prequel duology to the original Ranger's Apprentice series. So this is the only John Flanagan that I own and haven't read yet, though there are so many that I haven't bought yet, and I really want to, but this is the only one I have right now. Then we have The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. This is book 2 in the Scholomance trilogy. The third one just came out this year, and so if I read this one, I get to buy that one and finish out the trilogy. And then we have The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 1 in the Wax and Wayne quartet. I believe there's 4 books, and it is the second series in the Mistborn world. Okay, the next books I'm going to show you are my Dover Thrift editions and my Shakespeare. So for the Dover Thrift editions, oh, not that one yet. Dover Thrift editions, we have Lysistrata by Aristophanes, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner and Other Poems by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Everyman and Other Morality Plays, Anna Christie by Eugene O'Neill, and Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare. And then my non-Dover Thrift edition Shakespeare's, we have Titus Andronicus, Taming of the Shrew, and Richard III. For classics, we have The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, and Walden by Henry David Thoreau, Imaginations by William Carlos Williams, and Beowulf. This translation is by E. Talbot Donaldson. I have read the first third of it for a class many years ago, but I haven't read the whole thing, so hopefully I get to that sometime soon, because I really do like Beowulf. I only have one unread poetry collection, and that is the Penguin Book of Women Poets. Then for manga, we have Mob Psycho 100 volumes 2, 3, 4, and 5. I believe volume 10 is coming out in January, so I have quite a few more still to buy, and then there's 16 total that, it's like those last 6 haven't come out yet. Well, I guess 7 if volume 10 doesn't come out until January. Whatever. Yes, this is my favorite anime of all time, and so I'm going to finish reading it. Okay, we have quite a few anthologies that I have not read, the first of which is this big chunker, A Treasury of Best Loved Fairy Tales. Then we have The Great Glowing Coils of the Universe. This is the second volume in the Welcome to Night Vale transcripts. I believe there are 4 out, but I only own the first 2. Then we have Myths and Legends of the Middle Ages by H.A. Guerber. I almost unhauled this recently, and then I kind of flipped through it, and I'm like, actually, I want to keep this, so gotta read it soon. And the last anthology I have is After the King, Stories in Honor of J.R.R. Tolkien, edited by Martin H. Greenberg, introduction by Jane Yolen. I think I've read something by that author. I don't know, but these are all fantasy stories in the same vein as Lord of the Rings, which I love Lord of the Rings, so I know I'm gonna love this. It's just, I haven't got to it yet. And my one unread nonfiction book is The Italian Lakes by Aubrey Feist. I have had this book since 2017, and I'm not really a nonfiction person, but I love Italy. Maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't, who knows, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. I have 4 standalones that I haven't read, and the first of which is Dan Brown's Inferno. This is part of his, like, I don't actually know the name of the series. Robert Langdon is the main character. I think that might just be the name of the series. I bought this while I was in Italy in 2016, and I bought it in Florence because it takes place in Florence, and I meant to buy a version in Italian, but I didn't. So I could read this. I just haven't because it's not really a genre that I like, but I'll get to it eventually. Then we have a book with a very long title, and that is Anno Dracula 1999 Daikaiju. I feel like it has like 2 subtitles there, and that's really weird. This is by Kim Newman, and it's about vampires in an alternate history, and it takes place in Japan, and it just sounded really cool. Then we have Library of Legends by Janie Chang. And then House of Brides by Jane Cockrum. Then we have quite a lot of books that are part of series that I have not read. So first up we have Enchanté by Guida Trellis, and I believe this has been like rebranded, renamed, and now it's called All That Glitters, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's a gorgeous cover. This was the original title. Then we have The Dark Hills Divide by Patrick Carman. This is the first book in the Land of Ellion series. I believe there are 5 total. Then we have Ashwood and Brimstone by E.A. Olivieri. That is a lot of vowels, and I'm very happy that I got it correct on the first try, at least what I'm assuming is correct. But this is a heavy book, and I'm very excited to get into it. Up next, we have The Crow Rider by Kaylin Josephson. This is the sequel to The Storm Crow. It's the second book in the duology, it's just those 2. Then we have The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell. This is the first book in a 4-book series. This is the same author as How to Train Your Dragon, which I haven't read, but I know a lot of people love. Then we have The Water in the Wild by K.E. Ormsby, and I also believe this is the first in a 4-book series, if I'm remembering correctly from my research. Up next is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. I don't know how many books are in this series. I think it's a trilogy, but I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that. Up next we have Before She Ignites by Jody Meadows. This is a book that I've owned for so long. I'm pretty sure I got this like freshman year of high school, and I have yet to read it, but somehow it has stayed on my shelf from my many unhauls, so clearly there's something about it that I'm still interested in. And the last from that shelf is The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green. Don't know what it's about. I think I just bought it because the cover was very intriguing. I also don't know how many books are in this series, but I'll get to it eventually. Going up a shelf, we have the Grey Griffins trilogy by Derek Benz and J.S. Lewis. These were my boyfriend's books when he was a kid, and then he brought them with him when we moved in together, and there's no room on his shelf out in the living room, so they live on my shelf, and maybe one day I'll read them. I'm just including them in this video because they live on my shelves. We have book 1 is The Revenge of the Shadow King, book 2 is The Rise of the Black Wolf, and book 3 is The Fall of the Templar. Then we have Steel Tide by Natalie C. Parker. This is the sequel to Seafire. It is the second book in the trilogy. The first book is up there. I have read it. I haven't read the sequel yet. I believe the third one is called Stormbreak, and I don't own that one, but I would like to so I can complete the trilogy. Then we have Roar by Cora Carmack. I don't remember how many books are in this series, either 3 or 4. I just know it's about storm magic, and that enough is intriguing to me. And the last book on this second to last shelf is Iron Widow by Shirin J. Zhao. I have been obsessed with this book pretty much since it came out. I've been wanting to buy it and I just never did. And then I finally did last week because it was only $17 and it's signed. And I'm like, how could I pass that up? I'm so excited to read this. It's probably going to be one of my first reads of the year if I can get it onto a TBR. I have a lot of books that I have to get to in January, so hoping I can squeeze this one in. And the last books on my shelves that I have not read are the Tunnels series by, oh, I don't even know who these are by. Roderick Gordon and Brian Williams. So I have actually read the first one. I put it on the shelf over here just so I could put these ones up easier. These are actually like the Grey Griffins, my boyfriend's books from when he was a kid, and then I read Tunnels, I'm pretty sure like the first year we started dating, so many years ago, and I really liked it, and then I just never continued on with the rest because my boyfriend had them. But we have book 2 is Deeper, book 3 is Free Fall. These are some chunky books. Book 4 is Closer, book 5 is Spiral, and book 6 is Terminal. And these are middle grade subterranean fantasy books. And I liked the first one well enough, and eventually I'll read the rest, but they are thick. Okay, I went to go put all of my books back on my shelves after filming, and I found another book. The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is the last book. Yeah, I'll just insert this somewhere and then continue on with the rest of what I filmed. And those are all of the books that I own and have not read. That took a lot less time than I thought it would. I also feel like I was kind of rushing it to get through it because I knew it would take a while. There are some books in this apartment that I haven't read that I'm not considering for this list, like Dune by Frank Herbert and Blade of the Immortal. Those are my boyfriend's books and they're on his shelf, so even though I have counted some of my boyfriend's books, I'm not counting all of them. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how many books I pulled out for you guys. I will maybe count when editing and put it here if I remember to. But that is all for me. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.